Welcome to Fire Hour. If you're brand new here, this is about leadership development, creating the best life for yourself by becoming the best version of yourself. Crystal will join us in a few minutes. The baby just woke up. So, all right. I just wanted to open up the call with if anyone has any questions that they have not gotten answered just yet, then please put it in the chat. It could be related to business, leadership, skill set, marketing, team building, masterminding, personal development, anything and everything that is going to aid you in your success, in your journey to success. Because what I've learned over over a decade, 2 decades basically of mentorship, coaching, getting surrounded with the right people, masterminding, working with multimillionaires, working with people who've done 10 figures, and that's a billion, working with a lot of different people in different levels around the world is questions lead to answers and connections really lead to results. And when it comes to being surrounded with people who are on the same journey in terms of the vision, in terms of where you are going, in terms of the goals and lifestyles that you have that you want to accomplish, questions is one of the key ways to getting the results, getting answers. And not only that, but it's also connections, right? Networking, being in the right room, right? Everyone here, if you are in this room, in this Zoom meeting, this is a room, right? How many other rooms are you in that's like this? I just know this conversation is about transformation. Thank you, Rebecca. Yes. Yeah. If we're not, basically everything that you're consuming, this is just a framework for myself, but I'll share it, is if you are consuming anything, right? If you're in a room, if you are investing your time, your energy, the things that you can't get back, right? Which is really your time and energy. And we only have 24 hours in a day. If you're going to spend it for this next hour here and you don't get anything out of it, you don't get any return on your investment, which is your time, your energy, then what are you doing, right? What is the goal? What is the ROI? What is the benefit for you to be here if you're not going to get transformation? If you're not going to get golden nuggets, if you're not going to take notes and apply it, if you're not going to let your learning lead to action, what is the purpose, right? What is the purpose of you being here then? All right. So ideally, just to set everything up, because if this is going to be about transformation, which it is, right? I hope that you get one golden nugget out of this where it leaves a seed planted and then later down the road, ideally by the end of today, it sprouts, right? Because there's something called, I called this framework in 2017, 10x the seed, okay? 10xing the seed means that typically when you learn something, like especially something brand new, sometimes it takes years, it takes months, it takes weeks, it takes days for it to sprout, for that idea to sprout. But if you add 10xing the seed, where you're able to just understand the entire process from start to finish with the end in mind, you're able to use that seed that's planted and then 10x it. Use it by the end of the day. Use it instantly. That's the goal. And so, for example, in your business, when it comes to, like I talk about marketing, operations, and scale. When it comes to marketing, if you can fix one thing by the end of this call, by 7 a.m., or if you're in the East Coast by, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., right? Whatever timeline you're in, even if you're overseas, right? In 1 hour, can you fix one thing that's a big problem in your marketing by the end of this call, right? By the end of this episode, would you be able to do that? Well, how do you know where you're going to fix? It's by starting with the end in mind. It's by asking a question. So if for me personally, when it comes to one of my businesses and one of the companies I'm pushing, because I'm pushing like 3 different companies right now, how do I maximize my efforts and get the results that I need with marketing without me? Okay, that's the question. Without me, without my input, without my energy, without my time. So that's one question that I have for myself. And the answer that I came up with is obviously, well, it's a good marketing strategy. So if you don't have a good marketing strategy to begin with, then how do you know where to go? My mentor told me this. He said that everyone should have a GPS for life, okay? A GPS for life, meaning that if you're going somewhere, you better know the route to get there. Otherwise, how are you going to get there? You're going to get lost on your path. So it's the same thing with your marketing, with your goals. If you don't have a roadmap to success, clear step-by-step blueprint, how are you going to get there? Right? So with marketing, it's just that. It's like about having the high-level strategy, getting you step by step all the way to the end goal. And that's it. It's super, like when you think about it like that, it's super simple. When you actually create the plan, it becomes actionable, right? Because then you're able to plan and then execute. It's called P and E, plan and execute. Okay. And then from there, you're able to get the results, get the data, analyze it, and then from there, reverse engineer everything, pour more fuel in the fire, and then continue on the process, right? So that's one thing. By the end of this call, if you have a marketing question, right, get the question answered today before the call ends. Okay. Same thing with operations, right? If you feel like because I just saw in the chat. So well, I don't have my phone with me, but I know that there are a lot of new thrivers, right? And there are a lot of new people on the team, and there are people that are getting exposed for the first time to business. There are people who have, like, they are working 2 full-time jobs, right? That's, to me, in terms of operations and business, right? You are now maxed out for your bandwidth, for your capacity to operate. So the question for that is automatically, how do I get more time, right? Or how do I make more time for this? How do I make more time for my business now? How do I make more time to do the things that I truly want in life? How do I make more time to go after my goals and dreams, right? Well, it's about being very intentional and eliminating all the things that don't get you towards your goal. And then from there, reverse engineering everything else that you have to, right? So it's super simple. Literally, it's about eliminating, like literally going 1 hour per day and seeing what you can eliminate, how much time you truly have, and then from there, reverse engineering the plan. The beauty of this in today's time is that with this business, it's an online business, right? And the goal is just to get people on Thrive, right? To get your product or service in front of more people who don't know yet about it. And then from there, being able to be the first to market to share it with them and then help them throughout the process, onboard them properly with the blueprint, right? Walk them through their day 1, day 3, day 10. Then from there, help them get their transformation by coaching them and guiding them along the way, right? It's so simple. Just keep it very simple step by step. And the small things lead to the big things, right? They say small hinges swing big doors. So the whole goal is for you to just continue to open more doors for people, continue to open more doors for people. Just share, 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 and leverage social media to maximize your operations, maximize your bandwidth, right? That's operations right there. That's something you can implement right away. What if you have kids, right? What if you're working full time, you have kids, you have all these things happening, you have a business on the side as well. On top of this, like, how do you do it? It's the same thing again. It's marketing, leverage marketing, operations, onboarding, the entire process, the 7-stage flow, and helping them get results and continuing the process, right? And the small things lead to the big things. What about scaling? Okay. Scaling means you're building a big team, your revenue is exploding, you're getting a lot of results for yourself and your team. And not only that, but because the cost in this business doesn't ever increase really, right? Then it's about now using and leveraging the cash flow that you created for investments, right? And for expanding your lifestyle if you want to, right? And one thing that I would like to share is if you, let's say, for example, you make like your first 10,000, your first 100,000, your first million, don't just spend it all because all that hard work and effort that you've put in like goes to waste now. Except it goes to experience, obviously, because you learn, right? You gain the wisdom. But it's about being smarter, having a plan already in place for when that time does come, right? So what kind of plan do you have for your investments? What kind of plan do you have to leverage your cash flow? What kind of plan do you have to leverage the future years that you can buy now? Because with money, with cash flow and large sums of it, you're able to buy your future, right? Doesn't that make sense? Because before you weren't, if you didn't have the money, what were you able to do? What options did you have, right? With increased cash flow, with increased margins of profit, with increased revenue, what can you do now? What avenues and pathways and doors does it unlock? And I'm going to share with you something from what I've experienced is even if you have all the money, if you don't have the connections, you don't have the network, you don't have the relationships, if you don't have those doors that other people can open, bigger doors, then you're going to get to a limit. You're going to get to a cap. And it's going to force you to go out there and network. It's going to force you to expand your relationships. It's going to force you to elevate your game. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. When it comes to this framework, like you spend like your time, you become the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. The thing is that people who are wealthy, people who are doing personal development, people who are going after their goals on bigger levels, they know this already. All right. They know that quote. Majority of them know the personal development quotes, all the Zig Ziglar quotes, all the Jim Rohn quotes, all of those things, right? These people at the levels that if you aspire to get to are doing, they know all that stuff. So when you start to network with those people, rise and thrive, Anna. When you start to network and connect with those people, you get yourself in those rooms, your game automatically levels up because now you're in a room where the level of the energy level is higher. The game that these people are playing are at a different level. But that doesn't mean that you have to compare yourself to them. It just means that it's time to level up your skill set, right? I remember I was in a room with people, like there's many rooms, okay? Celebrities, millionaires, people who are not making any money at all. I've been in all 3 rooms, okay? When it comes, and it says this is gold. Y'all better be taking notes. Thank you. Again, for everyone who's brand new to the call, it's about transformation in this one episode, right? By the end of this call, right, the next 40 minutes, if you have a question, ask it, get it answered so that way you can move the needle forward faster. I'm going to share with you a story from the book called The Prince. Okay. I know Jackie's read it, but inside that book, there's one story that really stood out to me because I truly believe that everything rises and falls in leadership, and you are the leader of your own ship, right? If you are running your business, your life, everything you're doing, if you're living this life right now, you are the leader, okay? So everything rises and falls in you. All the mistakes, all the wins, all the downfalls, everything, right? Literally everything rises and falls on you, okay? And once you own that responsibility, life, it doesn't get easier, but I think that it gets more enjoyable, all right? Because you're able to play the game at a different level. This is literally you leveling up, all right? So in the book, The Prince, because for me as a business strategist and marketing consultant, like I need to know, like, and as a CEO, I need to know the step-by-steps in the future. I need to be always living in the future and anticipating it. Otherwise, how am I going to move the needle forward faster, right? So I'm going to share 2 stories actually, but one is in that book, they talked about the Roman army and how the Roman, like the leaders, they would always be scouting for insights, all right? Insights from the future. And the reason why they did that is because in their times, if they didn't have the right insights, the right foresight, the right data, they would lead their army to death. Okay. So when it comes to getting insight as fast as possible, the knowledge, the data, they needed to know all of that before their army, before their opponents. Otherwise, by the time that happened, it really would lead to death. It would lead them to demise, and everyone is not going to be happy. So when it comes to that insight, right? The one thing that me as a leader looked for was, all right, how can I find as much foresight and insight and data and knowledge as possible at the fastest rate that's accurate, so that way I can bring it back to my business and then strategize, pivot, adapt, and take action right away, right? That's what it translated to me in business in today's world. There's another question, right? There's another story. When I was working with a multimillionaire, we ran a 7-day experiment. It was really 5 days, but Monday through Friday, it was experimentation, right? That was the period to do experiments. Friday was collecting the data, the results from it to get the insight, okay? Saturday was reformulation, was repivot, make sure that we took all the information we got, repackage it into a new experiment, and then Sunday is prepared to launch on Monday, okay? And then on Monday, we launch it, we run the experiment for 5 days, get as much data as possible to run a new experiment. This right here, we were able to experiment faster than anyone else in terms of our level of competition, simply because we're able to reiterate the data faster, all right? For you in your business, if you're taking insight and you're understanding like, all right, this insight, this new thing, we're going this way, right? We're going towards this path. And I see it, but no one else sees it. If you're able to adapt and pivot and the timing of the market is with you on your side, you automatically, you will automatically see success. And there was a TED Talk. I talked about this on a past episode, but one of the biggest factors of startups, why they succeeded and why they failed was because of one factor. It was timing of the market alone, right? With AI, when it comes to AI, and before I get to AI, Angela says, this is in fact true. Top 40 leaders chat is at a higher level. Everyone is a high performer and it's very inspirational and everyone applies. It's all leadership talk and how to serve better. The conversation is different. Exactly. That's very true. Thank you for sharing that. And that's because why, right? Ask, like, start to think philosophically. Ask the questions to learn how to think, right? Why is something this way? Why are leaders at this level playing this type of game? What are the conversations there? Why are the conversations like that? This kind of gives you foresight for everyone who is going to build a big team, for everyone who is on their journey to building a big team. You automatically start to do the work right now because it's the be, do, have framework. If you identify yourself as, I am a leader, I am serving, I am helping, I am growing, I am making a bigger impact. This is my goal. I am doing it, right? The doing automatically gets done because of your actions, because what your mind, your perspective and perception on life is, it's saying that everything I see through my eyes is how can I become a better leader? How can I serve more people? How can I make a bigger impact in the world? How do I elevate my game so that way everything I do flows and aligns? So that way I get the results I need to get in order to make those impacts, in order to get those results, in order to touch, inspire, and motivate and move more people, the masses. How do I get my message across? Right? Angela says, we are so aligned. Be, have, do. You are definitely speaking to me. I just quote my next caption. I wrote be, have, do. That's good. So that's actually the beauty of a mastermind, right? The beauty of a mastermind is literally what she said, alignment. It's because what happens when people are aligned? Have you ever noticed this? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed when you're talking with a good friend and you guys are you're connecting, right? Like you guys are finishing each other's sentences almost. You guys are in the same alignment. The mindset is all the same. Every thought that you have is very aligned with everyone else, right? That is the power of a mastermind. And that's also the purpose of a meeting. And that's the purpose of a team, is to get an alignment all on the same page. So that way, when you guys connect, right? You guys connect, unify together. Everything that you do, especially in a team environment, especially if you're in business together, everything is like this. It starts to go, it creates a triangle, but an arrow going this way. All the momentum, all the energy is going in the right direction together. This right here is the power of the mastermind, right? This alone helps people elevate their game. That's why people join masterminds. When you get to a different level and you have the cash flow to invest in yourself, invest in your business, a lot of people in business, they start to join masterminds simply because they want to get with like-minded individuals at the same level or above. Keyword above, right? So if you have the money, it's about scouting for the next mastermind because that's how you expand your network. You elevate your game. You get surrounded with people who make you uncomfortable. They make you feel uncomfortable because there's such a different gap level to the game that they're playing. And it helps you bridge that gap fast, okay? Rebecca says, this is so good. Anna says, align to your purpose and you will feel fulfilled. The wrong thing will drain you. That is huge right there. That is key. If you feel, this is like a self-audit for yourself, right? Like always check in for yourself. If you feel like, especially in business, if you feel like something, you have to force it, like what I've learned and what I'm still learning, and my goal is to master this skill, is to be self-aware enough to understand and to know and to be aware that if I'm doing something and it's not flowing, then I'm forcing. And with like the Tao Te Ching, right? To go with nature, stoicism, to be one with nature, to mimic nature and model it, right? Nature does not force anything. Nature always flows. And what I've learned, because I've done my best in my life, okay? I'm talking decades, to force things, right? I've been putting my will into this life and forcing things, and I've only gone so far. But what I've discovered is that when I start to flow, I start to like go with nature. I start to be more stoic. I start to let nature take its toll and actually like follow it to the T. Guess what happens? Everything flows. Everything happens. Okay. It's so weird. And not only that, but I also feel aligned with my purpose. I feel fulfilled because I'm not forcing anything. I don't feel pain. The pain body doesn't activate. The ego doesn't activate. I just start to achieve. I start to see the results because I'm letting life flow. I'm letting the energy flow where it needs to go. Right. That's a leadership thing right there. Okay. If that's a skill, like you got to be self-aware. And if it's already intuitive for you, follow it. Like follow your intuition. Okay, your intuition knows. The ego tries to block it, but you know already. All right. So that was a great share. Angela says, "Let me share my caption." All right, let's get it. Being solid is who you are. Work on creating and leading with good intentions and motives. Be who you say you are. Be, have, do. Just stay solid. Yes, it reminds you of like being the rock, right? In your life, like you are the rock in the river, right? And the water is life and everything else in between. Like when you stay solid, when your footing is there, you are who you are. You don't change yourself for anyone, okay? Because you don't have to, right? Who says you have to? You don't change yourself for anyone. You be yourself, right? Let life let life go. Let everything else happen around you. And you just stay solid. That's what I got from that. That was great. Anna says, be authentic, love yourself first, and radiate it out into the world. Yeah, that's dope. You need to write a book. Thank you. This is just from my lessons, but eventually I do want to write one, right? If I can summarize all my life lessons into a book and it'll be like my intention would be make it to be evergreen and timeless, then that'll be dope. All right. So do you help people with writing books? That's dope. So, I also like with that said, like this is how I think. Okay, all right, I'll hit you up when I'm ready. Thank you. So, when it comes to writing books, right? Books is content, right? That's part of marketing right there. It's part of your personal brand. It's part of your philosophy. It's part of sharing like who you are, what your experiences are, and how you can impact the world. I know that there are people here on the call today that are authors. I have a lot of friends who are authors as well. And I'm going to share with you something that I've learned from them. I've learned that when you have a book, this is what it does automatically. Okay. From the marketing standpoint, because I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay. So there's something called the three P's. All right. And the three P's, this is from my high status networking program, but the three P's is I'm going to talk about social status. All right. You're in one of three positions at all times. All right. It's high status, no status, or low status. Okay. And I'm talking in the social environment, the social circles, because we live in a social world. So this is unfortunately true, but it's part of the game. All right. In business, this heavily affects you. And it's so weird, but it's just true. So I'm going to share with you. All right. This is another thing that you can add to your marketing. All right. This is for the marketing pillar. Okay. Because in truth, to me, right, knowledge is the highest. But what I've learned from doing business is that status sometimes trumps knowledge just because of psychology and perception of people. Okay. If they don't know better and they fall for the cognitive biases, status is one of those because what is status? What bias is status? It's authority. It's authority bias. Okay. There's a billionaire, Charlie Munger, who really made the cognitive biases known, right? And it's called the 25 cognitive biases. So that's something I encourage everyone to look up. Just, use AI to give you a summary or like go buy his book, right? $100 book. I have it upstairs. But there's so many data points on just cognitive biases if you wanted to learn. But one of them is authority bias. When you have a book in the market, right? In the market, let me ask you this question. Have you ever been to a conference where the event like coordinators hired on a person just simply because they have a book. But then when they presented outdated information. Have you ever noticed that or experienced it? I have. All right. And, obviously, like in my field, I need to, especially with what I do, I need to know the relevant data, right? The information that is relevant, applicable, and useful. I don't need to know things that don't work anymore or tactics that are just short term. For me, what I'm looking for is long-term benefit to myself and to everyone else that's part of it. That's everyone that's connected and impacted by it, right? So when it comes to like writing a book, one thing that happens is you automatically elevate your social status in whatever field that is. So for example, with Verge, I see you right here. So I'm just gonna talk about you real quick. So Verge the scientist, right? Automatically, when I see that name, I automatically assume, all right, she's a scientist. That's one. If I don't know anything about science, I might have to ask her, right? That's one. In my perception, her position in the market already elevates to me simply because she's a scientist. If I assume a lot of things, she might have done so much research, so many years put in, whatever else experience she has, that stacks, okay? Those things stack in her favor, in my mind. So automatically the authority starts to raise. Okay. Does that make sense? Now imagine Verge writing a book, right? Now, if she put all her knowledge into a book, how much more social status would elevate for her, right? I don't know if you have a book or not yet, but just saying, okay? So that right there, it stacks. That continues to stack. It stacks her social proof, her social status, and elevates it to a high status position. And now, if she shares that on her social media, what happens? Every single person that lands on her social media page, the authority bias is so high that now she is perceived as an expert in her field. Okay. That's what having a book can do. That's the power of sharing on social media and niching down into like Birds of Scientists right there. Okay. You already have the flywheel, the multiplier effect in your favor because you did it. You took the action. I saw you do it. Remember? We talked about it and you did it immediately. So that's a leader right there. So shout out to you. So that right there is everything. Okay. This is how you play the game in business. It's how can you favor yourself, like benefit yourself by impacting the world, but by niching into a specialty, by becoming like that one person that people can know and trust and like and learn from and follow. It's by elevating your game, by positioning yourself. It's by positions, okay? It's by positions. Everyone is automatically in a position, okay? I'll share a little bit more about that too. But yeah, this is, all of this is powerful. So when it comes to marketing, this is what I learned, right? Because if you think about it, every single person here, we're born into this world, but we don't get to choose like the position that we're born in, right? Some people are born like into wealth. Some people are not born into wealth. Some people are born into difficult experiences of life, right? Everyone starts somewhere else, but that doesn't mean that you can't change it, right? There's a quote that I really love that if you've never heard it, then I hope it impacts you. But it says, it's easy to create the future. It's easy to predict the future when you create it. Okay. It's easy to predict the future when you create it. That means that, and especially with what Angela was saying, right, earlier, right? If you're being who you are and you're expanding yourself and you don't change yourself for anyone else except for you, except for who you are, then eventually all the actions that you do will lead to what you're having, right? And if this quote is true, right? It's easy to predict the future when you create it. If you're able to create your future, which I believe that's possible, right? Where everyone here is living proof. You're able to really be more intentional and to really live more fulfilled life because now you are in control of your life. There's a lot of people out in the world who don't have Thrive. There's a lot of people out in the world who don't know about Fire Hour. There's a lot of people out in the world who don't have even the tool to go seek it, to seek the knowledge, right? But we do. So what can we do with this information? How can we help more people, right? How can we be more intentional with what we are doing and taking care of ourselves? So that way, when it comes time to take care of other people, we're able to do so, right? When it comes to the position that you're born in, right? Whether it's high status, no status, low status, If you find yourself in this business or any business for that matter, and you start off, everyone starts off in no status and low status, right? How do you elevate in terms of business? Okay, because this is a business talk. How do you elevate your position in the market to become high status, right? Because I'm telling you right now, you do not want to be a business or a brand that is known for being low status because it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the people you serve, and it doesn't help you make a bigger impact, right? So that's one. The second thing is no status. If you have no status, people just don't even pay attention. So like what's the purpose in that, right? That's kind of like limbo. This gives you a choice if you want to pursue or not, right? And then the high status position in terms of the social perception, right? If you have high status, how many more people's lives can you impact, right? Because I know that there's also like a negative connotation that it may be perceived with status, right? But the thing is that we're in business. So you got to play the game. You got to learn how to play it. You got to elevate your skill set, your knowledge base, and apply it to the game that you're playing. So with this right here, marketing position, your brand position and marketing position is everything with it. And that is literally impacting people's experience. Okay. So Verge says, don't be an asshole. Take action when you ask for advice. Focus on the next step and what is attainable day by day, but begin with the end in mind. 100%. Your intention and how you do it will be your abundance or your blockage. Oh, that's a good one. Let me say it again. Your intention and how you do it will be your abundance or your blockage. I hope everyone's taking notes. Where can you bring value into others' lives? We are always in a position to gain when we come from a place of love to serve. Yes. Literally like that. I found that to be so true is that when you help other people, you automatically are helping yourself. And it may not be in the now, it may be a time in the future. But if you just continue to help people, karma has a funny way of giving back, right? That's what I've learned. And so, how much more can you give? How much more can you like actually apply? How can you let your learning lead to action, right? And really, like if you ask for help, right? Like make sure that when you get it, like take action on it, right? So that was a great share. Thank you. She says your status is your experience. If you walk it first, others will trust you to guide them. Yes. Yes. That's very, very true. That's literally like there's another quote, right? Some people say to fake it till you make it, but I don't like that. Like I learned that in 2014, that quote. And then we reverse engineered it to say, or we reframed it to say, faith it, like have faith it till you make it, right? And that's exactly like what I get from that is your status is your experience. So if you walk it first, others will trust you in the process, right? Others will trust you to guide them. There's another book by 50 Cent, okay, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. He talks about this. He talked about walking it, like he was walking the walk, right, while he was talking the talk. And because he did that, this was a marketing lesson that he was sharing. Because he was he was building his personal brand to be known as this one thing. People, even though he didn't have it yet at the time, people perceived his status, his position because of what he did, right? And then eventually he got to the point where he wanted to get, and then his status was that experience, right? And it says when you buy into someone's opinion, you buy into their lifestyle. Make sure you only listen to people who are aligned with their highest timeline. Everyone else is just fluff. Yes, I've learned that to be true. I found that to be true. It's don't buy other people's opinions because opinions are free, right? You're on fire this morning. Angela says people talk about slow season. There really is no slow season. Yes, this is so true. Like take notes on this, okay? It's either you're spending time getting sharper and creating opportunities or you're consuming distractions. Yes, this right here, there is no such thing as slow season, especially because of social media, okay? And like if you take it even further back and with wisdom, if you believe that you are the creator of your life, you are the creator of your future, there is no such thing as slow season. It's only the perception in your mind that you create that becomes your reality, right? So don't let that limiting belief affect you, okay? This is transformation right here. Get better with your time and intentions. It's truly all about perspective and mindset. Boom. That's a one percenter. These are the 1%ers right here that changes the trajectory of your life, okay? Goody says, yes, walk the walk. Don't just talk, be about it. Don't be faking it. Yes. Goody, be it. Don't be a fluffer. I don't like fluffers. There's, there's something funny about that word. Um, Anna says, yes, there's only time for introspection, no slow season. I love this community, infinite wisdom that is free. Name who else is better. Yeah, and this is, like it's so true. It's the introspection is everything. Like there's a quote, right? Like slow down to speed up. What I've learned is that when you slow down, like you're slowing down not just for yourself, but it's for everything else that you do, right? And when it comes to you don't like slowing down, it's exactly why. It's exactly what Angela just said right now. It's to slow down to align, right? Because if you're out of alignment, then obviously it will slow you down because now you're starting to feel like you're forcing things. But when you slow down and you start to go in alignment, everything starts to go fast because now you're having fun. And like, isn't it interesting how when you're having fun and things are flowing, like time just flies? And it kind of is sad because like that's just like, how life is. But, like we eventually wish that like time would slow down when like things are going fun, like things are flying, right? Time is flying. Like I guess like that's the one of the dichotomies of life is that if that's a challenge, it's something that we just have to live with. But I think that there's going to be times when you feel like slowing down because it's necessary, like whether it's health, whether it's introspection, whether it's realigning with your highest purpose, right? And then there are times to go fast, like in a 90-day run, right? And when like there's, things like need to take action, like you have to take action, you got to finish things, you got to complete it because you have goals, you have deadlines to finish, right? So like this is, whatever season you're in, like the season that like you are in is because you decided to be in that. Like that's something that I learned. And especially if you're part of a mastermind, you're part of Fire Hour, you're part of this community, right? If there's a 90-day run, like what I encourage everyone to do is to hold on and to like get on the train. Okay, here, let me share this like analogy. This is actually one of the first analogies I learned when I first learned about the 90-day run concept. But when someone is on a 90-day run, okay, when a company is on a 90-day run, when a team is on a 90-day run, have you ever seen like those bullet trains from Japan? The bullet trains, they just go like they're zooming by like super fast, like over 100 miles per hour. That's what it looks like when you're looking from the side of a 90-day run. You see people on this train and it's just zooming. There's no slowing down, there's no stopping, like there's no emergency brake. It's literally just going fast, like going super fast, okay? When a team and a company is on a 90-day run, your goal as a bystander is to decide, are you going to jump, are you going to grab onto that bullet train and hold on for dear life, right? Are you going to grab on? Or are you going to just wait side by side? Thank you. Are you going to just wait on the sidelines until it's time for you to hop on, right? When a team, a company is on a 90-day run, it's literally about just saying like decide first for yourself, right? No one's forcing you, but it's flowing. That 90-day run, that bullet train is flowing. It's already going, it's in motion. Are you going to go with nature? Are you going to hold on, decide, and then go and hold on for dear life and run with that momentum that's being created? Or are you going to just sit on the side, right? And if you're in business, right, what I've learned is that in business, creating momentum, it always happens in 30, 60, and 90-day sprints, okay? It starts with a 30, 60, 90, and even goes to 120, right? And those are the quarters. Those are the quarters of life, of the year. And if you're able to hold on to that bullet train and go with it, the motion, go with that momentum, go with that flow, anything is possible, all right? It becomes possible. Your goals and dreams, you start to get closer to them, right? And it says, my first 90-day run, I hit 4K in 8 days and 12K in 25 days, VIP 800, VIP 1600, and free Maui gym plus qualified for lifestyle getaway. It's possible because she set her mindset up properly. Oh, because Shen set my mindset up properly because you were open to receiving, all right? So that right there is a testimonial, right? That's a success story. Anyone can do that, right? If you're open to receiving and then letting your learning lead to action and going with that flow. Yeah, thank you for that shout out. But yeah, that's 100% true, right? You're able to just accomplish the goals that you set out for yourself because now you have the faith and you're able to go with the flow and you're doing the runs, you're taking the actions. Nico says, yes, I've been on one. They're fast. Yes. And you know what? Like it doesn't stop. Like if you truly go out all out massive action 90 days, things happen that you would have never thought were possible. Okay. Like life change happens because of it. And like if you haven't decided for yourself, I encourage you to do it. Like I encourage you to set a date, like do the 90-day run training, get set up properly for your success because it's about you getting set up for what you want, right? This is for you and for everyone else that is going to be benefiting this, right? So it's important that you do it. And this is like something that cycles, okay? In your business, if you're doing business, which you are, you have to do the 90-day runs. There are going to be times when you do it and there are going to be times to slow down. But it's so important to do it for yourself and for your business. So with that said, the bullet train, okay? For you as a leader, you can start that bullet train. You can drive that bullet train. This is part of the marketing, operations, and the scaling. The bullet train is in the scaling efforts because this is about pouring the fuel in the fire with everything that you're doing already. This is about going like no slowing down because you're in alignment, going with the flow because it's all part of the purpose that you're in, and then from there, not slowing down for anyone, literally for 90 days straight. There's gonna be and here's the thing too, right? Some people say that it's not sustainable. A 90-day run is not sustainable. In my opinion, like, from my experience, that is true. However, you're able to set up with automations now, with workflows, with team, you're able to sustain those efforts, right? Because now it's all about working smarter, using technology, right? Adapting to what is possible out there, all the softwares that we can use. And then from there, setting that up. The one thing that is going to be challenging to really automate and to get more into workflow is the operational side, right? The operations, because that directly relates to you. So that's the challenge that, obviously everyone has, but again, it's possible. It just depends on how you want to build your business. But when it comes to marketing, you can automate all that stuff and you can really leverage like your time. But let me share with you another thing too, right? Because this is something that we didn't get to touch on just yet. It's the philosophy, right? But you're gonna I told them that you're gonna come on, all right? But the baby woke up.
Yeah, like the first day I actually get decent. And I really only got decent because I had this pimple on my nose, so I had to cover it. So once I covered it, I had to put on the rest of my face. Otherwise, I would look weird. So
Oh my God.
I actually got semi-ready, and then she woke up and I was like, well, back to bed I go. But she finally went to sleep. But I did overhear you talking about the 90-day run. And yeah, like with anything and everything, you have to make a decision first, right? And if you haven't made that decision, you're not sold out on your decision or your dream, right? Whatever it may be. And if you aren't sold out and you haven't made that decision, then everything that you do, it's going to feel like a struggle, right? Like your mindset isn't right because your mind hasn't been set in that path to be in that laser like focused state of mind. And so when you're doing it, it feels more like an obligation or something stressful or work as opposed to I'm having fun, If you think about it, when you were young and when you were a kid and your neighbors or your friends were like, hey, let's come out, let's go play, let's go swimming, let's go do this, let's go do that. You weren't like, oh, I don't want to. You were like, yes, like, let's go. And you didn't want to stop. But obviously you had to stop, when it was dinner time or what have you. Like that's how it is to be here now. It's like we're adults, so we get to do other things, right? Like we couldn't drive as a kid. Now we can. And so if you put on that childlike state mentality in your mind as an adult, like say yes to more of the things that you want to do. And if you don't want to do it, don't force or push it because then you're going to want to not do it even more, right? Like So sometimes there's seasons where you're on that 90-day run and you're going and you're flowing and you're having fun and everything is so natural. That's when your energy is high and you're going to attract people. You're going to attract all the things that you need to come in, because what you think about is what you're going to bring about, right? So it all starts in your mind as a vision and making a decision, because if you haven't made that decision, or you said you made that decision but your actions show differently, then you really haven't, right? So that's what I wanted to add in.
Yeah, that's perfect. That was a lot of great like engagement, a lot of great comments. Let me just read them. Crystal, you look gorgeous. You are, yes, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
Angela says, if you guys want to scale, got to use the systems we have in place.
Yeah.
It's hard to grow the longevity of your business if people don't have the resources, trainings, more trainings, staying
Yeah.
plugged in and connect with our community that will help you give them vision, the bigger picture. That's very true. Seeing is believing. They need to witness and experience others to expand and grow their business. Yeah, and you know what? Like that reminds me of the 4 Minute Mile, right? Roger Bannister, the 4 Minute Mile. Before this guy ran the 4 Minute Mile, no one believed in the entire world. No one believed that running a 4 minute mile was possible, right? But because he did it and it was spread to the world, it was in the news and everything. Other people around the world started to run a 4 minute mile and became normal. Okay. It's the same thing with what Angela's saying. And the same thing with what you're saying. Like when you see it, like you can believe it and you actually manifest it into your reality because now you see what's possible, right?
Right. I was drinking my shake.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I barely had time to drink my shake. I was holding the baby the whole time.
Yeah, so okay. So you see, yeah, you see what's possible though, okay? And it's just like it's what you said. Like it's so powerful. Like if I don't know, like there's something in the brain that like or something in your mind that when you see someone doing it, you see like it in real life. You see someone that you know doing something. Like at first it may be disbelief, but then after that, like you process and then it's like, oh, like what about me? Right?
Yeah.
These are part of the questions that you should ask yourself when you're expanding your vision, when you want to see the bigger picture, when you want to create a life that you want that you want to live, right?
The experience. You
The
want to bring
experience.
an experience into your life and just have fun. You know what I mean? Like we're here to have fun and to play. And when we're having fun, things just come really naturally. You do things and you're not like, oh, this is like work. This is like a job. It's not, it's play. And when do you want to stop playing? Never. You never want to stop playing, right? Um, so have fun with the things that you do, but truly set your heart on it. You know what I mean? If your heart's not in it, it's not going to happen. It's really hard. You're more pushing and struggling. Like I feel like in my life over my span of my career, like it's it's taken more effort to make less money when I'm not having fun and I don't enjoy the process of what I'm doing, or if I'm comparing myself to someone, right? Because you guys have heard that quote, comparison is the thief of all joy. And what you want to do is you want to surround yourself with people that are in the same mindset of, I'm going to win and I'm going to get this because I want this, right? You're not comparing yourself to anyone else and their journey. You're comparing yourself to yourself yesterday. Like
Mhm.
I said I was going to do this. Did I do this? Yeah, I did. Great. Okay. Can I do one more? Right. And then the atomic habits come into play where you're just trying to get better 1% every single day. You're not setting this crazy goal out there and then beating yourself up when you don't reach it like the next day or the next week, right? Like be realistic in changing your habits, staying consistent, right? That takes discipline. A lot of us, we may not be the smartest, we may not be the prettiest, we may not be the happiest, we may not be whatever, fill in the blank, right? Like you're not always going to, there's always going to be someone out there that's better than you, faster than you, wealthier than you, prettier than whatever, right? Like there's always going to be someone. So it's like if you keep comparing yourself to the next, you're never going to feel fulfilled because you're not taking the time to be proud of yourself and who you are as a unique individual and the things that you've done in your life and then getting better every day, right? And the people that stay the most consistent and disciplined, they are the ones that win, because instead of looking at everyone else, or you're just focused on yourself and your improvement and what you did today, what you're doing tomorrow, and what you're doing next week, right? You can set small, manageable goals and have those small wins so you can feel better about yourself, and then keep like taking the notch up and up and up. And sometimes when you're not focused on it and you're just in the process of doing and growing and getting better, you will see one day, you'll look back and you'll be like, holy crap, like I can't believe I did that. I set this goal out there and then I just kept going and going and going. And sooner or later, you're there and you see it. And you're just like, I didn't even know how close I was to hitting that goal. I was just in the process of living and feeling and just enjoying every single moment and working on myself and getting better, right? You become a different person. You become a new person. And then the things that you actually do and the things that you accomplish are just like, you just can't believe it, right? Because you were just in the act of doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot. That's powerful.
I'm gonna finish my shake.
Step 2. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, so there's a lot of
Bad
funny.
thriver.
There's a lot of funny. Angela, you're funny. Consistency. Focus on your own journey. When God blesses your neighbor, he is in your neighborhood. Oh, that's a good one. All these great quotes. My fingers are sore from writing it all down. I love them all. That's good. I've learned, I've noticed that, people who quote a lot of people, they're not just quoting their opinion, but they are sharing some knowledge, right? Kaizen, getting 1% better each day, one brick at a time. Eventually you'll have a wall. Yes. Surrounding yourself with people that have the same mindset. 100%.
Sorry, I'm using the camera as my mirror.
I know, I can see that. When you're on vacation, just keep on working and changing lives. Yeah, this is really great. So, man, if
That
you
90-day run.
I know we're on one.
We're currently on one. We're currently in the thick of things. We literally have what? 90-ish days until the
90
festival.
94 days. Birch says, always ask what is your purpose here. This business is one where you can do any and everywhere, anytime. It's such a blessing, extra little or a lot, depends on what you put in. Anna says she wants to go. Nice.
Did you send the link?
So, oh, go ahead.
Did you send the link?
No? I didn't even talk about it yet.
Oh,
Alex says, y'all are popping off today. Sean, Crystal, Ange, Verge, Rubes, Anna. Something in the air because this positivity is radiating throughout the screen. Through the screen.
it's the community.
Thank you, Alex.
It's the community. Thank you. It's the community, you guys. Like, we light each other on fire. We help each other. There's days where we say, like, sometimes fire hour or power hour needs you. It needs your energy, your contribution, right? And sometimes you need it, right? So thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? What else? Alex, when you shared your story that day, like on the webinar, like you were spitting fire, you know what I mean? So I know you have the fire in you. Like, and you got to get your face on here sometime too, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, like you got that wisdom to share too. And also like your experience, right? It's transformation. When you share your experience, your story, it's transformation. It's fire, because fire is transformation. So thank you for being here and for doing what you do. That's fresh. Thanks for the reminder. Best community ever. No comparison. Look out for the info on the next mastermind. You guys are planning on September 13th and 15th. Details to come. That's good.
How exciting.
Yeah, that's really good.
What area are you guys doing? Because you're San Diego, Joanna's Bay Area. So where are you guys planning? What location roughly?
Fort Worth.
Okay, Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Oh, Chastity. Okay, yeah, she lives out in Texas.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, whenever you have a chance and you're able, like, obviously get together and mastermind and level up, right? Have the conversations that you haven't had before, right? Those are opportunities for you to have life-changing conversations. Every room again, okay? Like, let's close out this call, but in the very beginning of this call, it was about just one thing, right? If you can get one golden nugget, that by the end of this call, right, which is in 3 minutes, you get to change something, or you had a seed that was planted and you 10x the seed, and it sprouted into, all right, this is what I'm going to do now. Now you have a direction, clear vision, right? That right there is everything. So if you had something from today, you had a 1%er, you wrote a bunch of quotes, something stood out to you, you heard a sentence, a word that made you ponder and think, right? All these things will lead to transformation. It'll lead to life change, because what changed? You did, right? You changed and developed and grew through the process. And now your thoughts and your perception is completely different walking out, right? You came in one way, you walk out another. And if not, it'll be more impactful and more of a deep transformation for yourself. So Angela says, mastermind every week in the Bay since Eleni is back. Oh, welcome back. So, like,
There's nothing better than getting together in person. Like it's
yeah,
nice being able to do this from anywhere just by being on Zoom and virtually. But when you guys get in a room next to Thrivers, like it's so different, like the energy that everyone brings and the community. So if you guys have the chance to meet up, hang out in person, go to lunch, do masterminds, talk about things, masterminds, right? Like that's what masterminds are for. So people ask questions, people have answers, people have thoughts, you kind of start to see things better and you start to learn things a bit more.
100%. Yeah, you let your learning lead to action. And then exactly what Angela says, we can quote unquote work, connect and help with your brand and social media,
Yeah.
make content.
Yeah.
And that activates the social proof, right? That's one way to activate social proof. Twin says it's how we grew. Yeah, the momentum, the mastermind, right?
Getting
So,
together, doing
yeah,
events together.
yeah, 100%. So, okay, let's end the call with one question, right? What is, I mean, let's do 2 questions. For the 90-day run first. Twin says that's how you met Crystal. That's how you guys
Yeah.
met.
She came
Wow.
from Vancouver. Yeah. And then we had a local. We did a local. Yeah. You guys hosted a local and a couple of us were there. I think 40 people RSVP'd and then it rained. So only like 8 of us showed up, but it didn't matter because we showed up and we just kept going.
Oh, that's fire. There's a really good quote. Just like we'll end the call with 2 questions and this quote. But right, success is all about showing up, right? If you don't show up, how can you be successful? Right? So success, that's what I learned. Is success is showing up. You show up in the right rooms, you show up at the right time. You show up for the right opportunity. You show up for the people that you care about. You show up. Okay. So that's what success is all about. It's about showing up, right? With those 5 components and more. And when it comes to the questions, right? Like ask yourself these 2 questions. Like one is, are you doing a 90-day run? Right? Are you doing a 90-day run? If you have not decided to do a 90-day run, like what is slowing you down from starting? What is slowing you down from doing it? Is it more guidance, more clarity? Is it what you got to do? Is it doing the training? Like ask people that are on your team, right? Ask your support team. Like talk to someone who's done it already. How can you get started? Right. And then obviously put them into the 90-day run chat, like if there is one. Okay. However you want to do that, right? That's number one is get your question answered though. Okay. Number two is, from today's call and from any mastermind, any call for that matter, like what are some questions that you have not gotten answers to yet, right? Make a list of those questions and get them answered. Okay. Don't walk away with this from this call without you getting your questions answered. And if you have questions, again, the call to action is what questions do you have? Write them down and then ask them to an upline or ask them to a sponsor or ask them to a community member or ask them to a mastermind. Ask them on a next call. Okay. Just get your question answered. All right. So Ruby says I will show up every single, I can't say that word right now. Every single day. Love it here. Thank you. So, all right. Yeah, stay close to the fire. It was the start of it all. That is awesome. Let's use this fire. Okay. Use this information, use this energy and bring it into your day and impact someone's life today. All right. You guys got what it takes. You just got to give it all that you've got. We love you all. Thank you for being on. Crush it. Dominate your path. Thank you for showing up. Yeah. All right. We love you.
Love you guys. See you
Make it
guys next
happen.
week. Bye.
If my camera is ever off, it's because I'm not dressed to show face. Don't worry. I just got done working out. This call was fire. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
No worries. Do your thing. All right. Love you all. Peace out.